Hey, happy Friday to you. Today is March 8th, and these are the Friday Funnies. Well, we're in trouble, my friends. I know this because our latest ambassador of goodwill is Dennis Rodman, who went over to North Korea to meet with Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Now, other than both being really freaky looking, I don't know what they would have in common. It turns out KJO is a big fan of basketball, and he's fascinated by tall people. Back at home, the sequester that hit last week is responsible for the cancellation of tours through the White House. Apparently, the budget cuts are now affecting tour guides and docents, but I've got an idea. Why don't we get somebody who will lead the tours for free to give tours of the White House? First name comes to mind? Dennis Rodman. And the FAA ruled this week that effective April 25th, you will be allowed to carry pocket knives and golf clubs on airplanes. You're only allowed to carry 2 golf clubs, but I'm thankful that you're allowed to carry pocket knives again. Now I'll finally be able to get those packages of peanuts open on Southwest. The rest of this week's news stories feature the usual dummies doing the usual dumb things. Well, it's been said that the pen is mightier than the sword, but in this case, quick thinking was mightier than the robber. In West Havens, Connecticut, a Dunkin Donuts employee, identified as Angela, was working the drive-thru window when a man drove up and asked for change for a $100 bill. When Angela said she couldn't make change for $100, the man then said, "Okay, this is a robbery," and he proceeded to try and climb through the window of the drive-thru. Well, Angela needed to keep this man out of the drive-thru window, so she grabbed the only weapon she had available, which happened to be a pot of hot coffee. And she doused the robber with an entire pot of Dunkin Donuts breakfast blend, causing him to run away and screaming just like he had had an extremely hot pot of caffeinated liquid dumped on him. Apparently, America really does run on Dunkin'. Jamie Kraft is a 28-year-old woman from Jonesboro, Arkansas, and last week she crashed her Pontiac Grand Am into a mobile home. Now, since she was drunk when she did this, she wanted to run away before the cops arrived. So what did she do? She stole a battery-operated Power Wheels truck designed to be used by children. So imagine, if you will, a drunk woman scrunched into a kid's toy truck driving down the road at a top speed of about 4 miles an hour. Oh yeah, one more thing. She wasn't wearing any pants. Needless to say, it wasn't too hard to track her down. She's been booked on a DUI, and the toy truck has been washed in alcohol and returned to its rightful owner. Jonathan Skull is a 26-year-old man from Medford, Massachusetts. He's also an idiot. Jonathan walked into Woody's Liquors and stole 2 cans of Pabst Blue Ribbon beer by stuffing them in his pants. Now, the clerk at the liquor store saw him do this, and she followed him out of the store, where she asked him about the bulge in his pants around his ankles. At this point, Jonathan came up with the best excuse his little pea brain would allow him, and he told the clerk that the bulge, I should say, was his junk, a.k.a. his boy parts. When she started to laugh, he took out one of the cans and threw it at her head. Then he ran away. He was captured shortly thereafter and is currently in a place where it's not good to tell those kind of lies anymore. Hey, that's all I have for you this week, kids. Please tell your friends about our show. Better yet, why don't you just send it to them? And I will see you next week. Don't forget, however, don't forget this weekend. Turn your clocks ahead 1 hour. Or if you don't want to do that, set them back 23 hours. We welcome the return of daylight savings time. And in closing, go Blackhawks!